Okay. I guess part two. Because, no. I relate so much to her journey. It's crazy. Okay. So, after that, um, she first started to focus on her body. Okay. That means she started to force herself to eat right, work out, take care of her body, like actually be conscious of her body. She started looking up the things that the way that she's eating, her sleep, everything. Okay. And eventually, you know, how most people always start off like, man, I don't want to do this, but then you got to push yourself out of bed. Eventually, she began to crave the new routine. She felt stronger physically and mentally than she ever had in her whole life. Okay. As my body began to heal, I began to question so many other truths that I had once felt were self evident. I learned new ways of thinking about mental wellness. I realized that a disconnect among mind, body, and soul can manifest as sickness and dysregulation. I discovered that our genes are not destiny and that in order to change, we have to become consciously aware of our thought patterns and habits, which have been shaped by the people we care for and have been cared for by the most. I discovered a new, wider definition of trauma, one that takes into account the profound spiritual effects that stress and adverse experiences in childhood have on the body's nervous system. I realized that I had unresolved traumas from my childhood that continue to affect me every single day. Okay, shout out to my therapist, by the way, because she's the shit. Okay, because she's been really helping me with my shit. The more I learned, the more I integrated what I was learning into the new daily choices I was consistently making. Over time, I adapted to those changes and I began to transform. Once my physiology began to heal, I went deeper, harnessing some of the insights I'd learned in my diverse range of her clinical experience, right? And applying them to the knowledge I was building about the integration of the whole person, our physical, psychological, and spiritual selves. I met my inner child. By the way, that is probably one of the most profound experiences I've had with myself. And again, shout out to my therapist because she helped me in the process of meeting my other versions of me to do the same. Okay, I met my inner child. I learned how to reparent her, examine the trauma bonds that were holding me hostage, learn how to set boundaries, and began to engage with the world with an emotional maturity that that I had never before known was possible. I feel like I feel both. I feel like I'm definitely a lot more emotionally mature than I ever have been, but I'm also learning still right now. Um, has been an entirely unknown state to me. I realized that this inner work didn't stop inside me, but extended beyond myself into each and every relationship. She went on to say, like, the rest of this paragraph, basically how she saw the magnitude of just how it doesn't just affect you, it affects your relationships and beyond. Okay? It's a ripple effect. The ripple effect. I write to you today from a place of continued healing. My symptoms of anxiety and panic have largely disappeared. I no longer relate to the world from a reactive place and I'm able to access more awareness and compassion. I no longer relate to the world from a reactive place and I'm able to access more awareness and compassion. Again, I relate to this so hard because I don't relate to the world as I once did, but I am still also accessing more awareness and compassion, especially the compassion part. My therapist is helping me with that. Okay. I feel connected to and present with my loved ones, and I'm able to set boundaries with those who are not active participants in my journey. I'm conscious for the first time in my adult life. Can you say that again? I am conscious for the first time in my adult life. I didn't see it when I hit rock bottom. I didn't see it a year later. Today I know that I would not be here writing this book if I had not accessed the depths of my despair. This is also why I have the relationship I do with pain. It started off as why me, but now I embrace it. Of course, it's uncomfortable when you're going through it, and I let myself experience it and do through it. But when you zoom out, it's powerful. Then she went on to say how she ended up expanding this into her life's work and how she supports other people on their journeys with this. And this resonates a lot with me because it's very similar to the path that I'm taking. Like, she took her pain and her healing journey and made it her life's work and made it a safe space for others to come forward and do that in their own way. And this is what I saw, and I didn't even realize it fully, but this is what I saw in 2000, I think 10 or 11, whenever YouTube started, and I started my channel. And I put, by me living my truth, I hope to inspire you to live yours. This is what I meant. This is what I meant. And this is part of what I consider my mission or my life's work, or why I'm here in the first place. Why I went through everything I went through, and why the way that I thought about it worked. The way that, not saying I'm flawless, or that's not what I'm saying. I viewed it differently than those around me. And although I went through the suffering, and I swam in my darkness, and I explored it to the fullest extent, I believe, publicly, I also, because of that, again, right here, I would not be here for her writing this book, but we all know I'm gonna probably eventually write one too. I've been saying that for years. Not be here writing this book if I had not accessed the depths of my despair. I always knew that the accumulation of that whole journey would lead to whatever my life's work is for others, whatever service is meant for others. And there's so much pain and torment. And with that is so much power. Power. I'm not talking power in the sense of like, ha, like, look at me. No, power, like a ripple effect, like how she created a community is part of what I see for whatever I would have to offer to you guys through my story. Whatever space, I always say this to you guys. This is a safe space. Express yourselves. Doesn't matter what your perspectives are. Just share, like, a safe space for people to come and just be able to let their hair down and just be and feel what they feel, and that there would be love, respect, and support. I may not know yet 100% yet what it specifically looks like for me, how it's going to unfold, of how I'm in service to other people. I know I've started already through what you share with me and how I impact you. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that's really important that I hear that. And I don't know yet how this is gonna unfold, but I'm excited. And the further I go along in my own personal journey, the more I'm excited, the more I have to share, the more compassionate I can be, the more, the more, the more the better. You know, that's like, the more strength I have also to hold the space for so many people. You know, when they can find the light in their path, whatever that may be, whatever that looks like for them, they can find that and they can let the light come in the same way it's described. They can let the light come in, just crack open, and to start that journey themselves, in the way that is best for them, the way that is most authentic for them, the way that they can get in touch with their inner child and their former selves, and go through this loving integration process. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, and it's part of what lights me up. It's what held me in the darkness. It's that intuitive knowing that this was going to be used in service to others in some way, even when I couldn't see how. There was just this knowing that would never let me go. It never let me go. And I held on to it. I just knew. But even more so, it held on to me. It just said, it was just this knowing that just said, I'm going to take you by the hand, and I see where you're meant to go, even when you can't. And and we're going to do this together. Whatever comes of my life, I just hope it leads to more people coming home to themselves, finally. I hope it leads, I'm gonna start crying. I hope it leads people to a deeper place in themselves where they can see the treasures that they're hiding in their shadow, where they can embrace the shadow and become whole, where they can become more conscious and loving and understanding of each other and themselves, and compassionate, and just shine. Like I like the way she put it here. Okay, 12 minutes, jeez. So it don't matter. Something brought you here. Something inside you came here with a deep longing to heal, a longing to be the highest version of yourself. This is something to celebrate. We all have a childhood that is creating our current reality, and today we've chosen to heal from our past in order to create a new future. The part of you that knows this to be true is your intuition. It has always been there. We have simply developed a habit of not listening to or trusting what it says. Being here today is a step in healing that broken trust within ourselves. I'm a living testament to this truth. Awakenings are not mystical experiences that are reserved for monks, mystics, and poets. These are not only for spiritual people. They are for each and every one of us who wants to change, who aches to heal, to thrive, to shine. With your awareness awakened, anything is possible. It's for everyone. Everyone and anyone who in their respective timing is ready to step forward. And I don't mean ready like you really thought it out, now you're ready. No, I mean like you have really, because no one's really like ready to make their brain do or accept or start a whole nother journey that's not familiar with. But you're ready in a sense where you're willing to take that leap because you already know what your current self creates, and you know it's not for you. You already know it's not for you. You already know that this is not what's truly bringing out your full authentic self, and this is not it, and that there is a way for you to do that, and you're willing to take the leap, and you're willing to learn, and you're willing to figure it out and embrace the uncomfortability of the unknown and really trust. And really trust. I don't know if you can see. So those two words brought me through a lot. Just trust. Because you're not going to always know what it looks like. You're not going to always know exactly how it turns out. There's going to be a lot of surprises along the way. And to me, that is the beautiful thing. I love you guys.